Training. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grunler.
Wolverine.
And this is Analyzing the Programming. Oh, no, this is really Behind the Programming for the Legend Masters Championships, which will have Bob Jennings and Joe Linton on, and they will be discussing the programming for the upcoming Legends Masters Championships in San Diego. It'll be, what are the dates again?
It's the weekend of the 12th. So I'm going to head out there December 8th, actually. And I believe it goes 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. It's a 4-day deal.
It's a 4-day competition. You're right. You will be heading out there because Bill Grunler is getting back on the broadcast mic. You'll be there with Sean Woodland.
That's right.
And I was supposed to make the trip, but I could not. I was looking forward to working with you guys again.
That would have been fun, man. That would have been like the Backstreet. It would have been like the Backstreet Boys reunion right there. Maybe a little NSYNC reunion.
Don't knock the Backstreet Boys reunion because I went to one of those concerts 2 years ago and it was amazing. They still got it. They still got it. Before we get to Bob and Joe, we want to thank our partners of the show, BUBS Naturals. If you guys had a great Thanksgiving like I'm sure we both did. By the way, how was yours before I get into that?
Dude, it was great, man. I tell you what, in California, Thanksgiving up here at Avila Beach, 78 degrees on the beach. Awesome.
Yes. Oh, well, that sounds nice. It was really humid the first day. I drove to San Antonio with the kids and the wife and saw my two brothers and all their kids. And it was a big packed house in San Antonio, Texas. But then the cold front came in and it was nice.
I was going to say it rained, it snowed, it was a heat wave, it was a drought, it was a flood, it was a
we experienced all the seasons in a span of 48 hours. But no, it was great. The one thing I was missing on the trip, because I've run out, is BUBS Naturals, which is just breaking my heart. But it should be here soon. I'm super excited about it. If you guys don't have BUBS Naturals in your morning routine, especially in your morning coffee routine, go to bubsnaturals.com, use the code GETWITH20 for 20% off every order. Every single time you have that MCT oil powder, you have the collagen protein, and then you have the apple cider vinegar gummies, which all mix together. Well, don't put the gummies in there. I should say all combined together.
You could if you want.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but listen,
if you want to do you.
If you want a little,
everyone's in charge of their own fitness, right?
Yeah, as long as it all goes to the same place, right? It all goes to the same place. But if you want to drastically improve your morning routine by also improving your health, go to bubsnaturals.com and use the code GETWITH20 for 20% off every order, every single time. We want to thank Element 26. Element 26, Bill, we are 12 weeks out of the 2022 CrossFit Games Open.
Oh, man.
Yes. Oh, man. And we just started a new training cycle at the gym.
Oh, did you?
It's funny as we call it open prep. It's like, we're just doing CrossFit.
I always crack up when people do that. That's totally true. Yeah.
Well, part of it, too, is we put open prep as we'll put in a few more open movements more often than you maybe normally see in a full varied program. But at the same time, I feel like it's just more gets people ready.
Thinking. Yeah.
I get all right, this is serious.
Put that goal out there. Put that carrot out there.
Yeah. And if with that carrot, put some thumb tape on your thumbs and go to element26.co. That's .co, not .com. And use code GETWITH15 for 15% off every order you do inside the United States. You got the thumb tape, you got grips, wrist wraps, knee sleeves, sweatbands, everything you need underneath the sun to get you prepped and ready for the Open. 12 weeks. Get on it.
Dude, we broke the 100-day mark, man. I just can't believe that.
I'm not ready. Not yet, but with the Open comes the WOD-proof app, because you're going to have to prove your fitness not just on the leaderboard, but prove that you actually did it.
That's right.
Video proof.
Video proof, and you have to have the app that's out there. And there are other ones that are out there, but don't go getting with that crazy stuff. Get with the good stuff. That's the WOD-proof app. And so what they'd have obviously is the video. They got the counter. They have the ways that you can use that video and line it up against other people if you want. They have their Pro Pack, which allows you to get access to all kinds of 12-week programs to improve whatever levels of fitness you need or whatever holes you have that you need to shore up to get ready for the Open, because that's going to be important. So you have access to all those. That's a $9.99 if you want to buy it outright. But if you use our Get With code right there, you see the 20% off for the 3-month subscription, which makes it like, I don't know, what is that, $6 or something like that? Maybe. $6 to become better. That's pretty much not bad. It's pretty awesome. And check this out. I just talked to the guys. So I've been doing a thing with them for a while. There's the Masters Go League, and every week.
What is this?
Okay, so we've had it for a while. There's kind of some ups and downs, some swings in, swings out. It's a online competition, a weekly online competition. Prior to this, it was $5 to hop in for the competition. And we have the way I rate the workout for the competition. I have a 35 to 44. I have a 45 plus, and then a scaled division, so you can hop in on either one of those.
Okay.
Have a workout on there, and you just basically compete with everyone else that does it. It's slowed down a little bit over the last handful of months or whatever, but we haven't really been pushing it. We're getting that back together with everyone. I figure as the Open comes up, why not do some online competitions with everyone and hop on in there. So if you want to talk to the guys at Waterproof, they said that you could use the code GETWITH, and that would get you into a free week just to kind of see what it's all about, see what the workout is, hop on there and check it out. Check this out. So if we have, I think what we were doing before when I was working with them was if we had over 3 or 5 people that did that competition that week, and this was just trying to get people in there, then they actually had prizes that you could actually win. So the more people that are involved, the more chances you have at prizes. And again, it's just getting ready for that Open, testing out the WODproof app, testing out how you need to set up your camera, testing out that online competition, and then just getting ready for that sub 100-day Open coming up. Get on it, guys. Check it. Get with.
Get on it. So go to bubsnaturals.com, element26.co, and download the WODproof app to get yourself prepped and ready for the upcoming 2022 CrossFit Games season. But we have one thing to get to before we get to that, because we're going to get with the programming. We're going to go behind the programming with Jolyn and Bob Jennings of Legends Masters Championships. Welcome, everyone, to day one, talking the Legends Masters Championships. I'm chasing with Bill Grundler, and we have Jolyn and Bob Jennings, the founders of the Legends Masters Championships. Boys, how we doing?
Doing great, man. That is one hell of an intro, though. I gotta tell you.
Cool.
I'm
excited.
I heard you guys talking about it. I was listening to your coverage of Rogue the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard you guys talking about it, but I was in my car, so I wasn't watching it, you know. But for all those listening, it's pretty good.
So, like in like a Michael Bay movie or something for your ad.
It's an app called Fiverr or Fiverr. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
So you pay someone across overseas $20, and they take your logo and they make it look way cooler than you could ever imagine. But hey, guys, how we doing?
Great, man. I mean, we're a week out now or so.
Yeah, how frazzled are you guys?
Yeah,
8 days.
We're doing good. Yeah. Better than last year. Last year was
okay.
Let's go to Arizona and do all that crazy stuff. So at least we can stay local.
True.
Yeah, I got a funny story for you guys. At about this point last year, Joe and I were driving my truck from San Diego to Arizona with a trailer full of like rowers and a bunch of other crap, right? And I had a work call that I was taking, and Joe was sitting in the passenger seat, and he got a text message, and then like started leaning like closer and closer to the window, you know. And the text message was from my wife telling Joe that I need to call her as soon as I get off because my daughter tested positive for COVID.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And we're like, oh man, we're the only two that know what's going on with the entire event. Like, can we buy like hazmat suits? Like, how are we going to do this? Because we got 300 people showing up to a parking lot in the middle of Arizona, and 2 truckloads of gear from Rogue. Like, what are we going to do? Yeah. So we pulled over in Yuma, which it's a thriving metropolis. Yuma,
thriving jail town.
Yeah. And we sweet talked our way into getting a couple of COVID tests.
Wow.
And and then sat very uncomfortably in my truck in the parking lot for a half hour waiting for the results. I don't think Joe and I both talk a lot, and we're always trying to like one up each other on who's funnier, right? And we didn't say a word for 30 minutes.
It was so quiet, and it was stressful.
Yeah.
So it was like peak COVID stress too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it was. Oh man, and everything else that we were going through at that point in time, just trying to make sure that it happened. But anything compared to last year is easy at this point.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we'll just roll with it, right?
Yep.
Hey, and real fast before we get into all the programming stuff, one, as a Masters athlete, I think it's really cool that you guys have really stepped up to push this. I mean, we've seen this with a handful. We've been involved. Me, myself, and Chase have been involved with a couple other groups that have been trying to push something for the Masters, but I haven't seen anybody go as all in, all throttles down like you guys are doing. So one, thank you. I think that's super, super cool. But two, what are you trying to make it? What are you trying to grow it to be? Are you trying to build like a regional setup for Masters, or like what's kind of like your end goal with this?
So first, thanks, man. Appreciate the compliment and appreciate all the support that you guys bring to us. What are we trying to build? I think what we were trying to build back in 2017 when we started this and what we're trying to build now are probably two different things. Back in 2017, we were kind of like the direction that CrossFit was going with Masters seemed to be on a rapid decline, and kind of the rallying cry back then was almost like, screw them, they're not going to provide the Masters what they deserve. Let's go do it ourselves.
Right.
And a little bit self-serving, right? But I think that was kind of the original intent, and then there's a big shakeup there. I feel like CrossFit has gone back all in on Masters, and now it's really more about partnering with them to provide the best possible experience for Masters going forward. And a little bit of it is I'm a little tired of hearing Masters whine about like, hey,
gosh, aren't they the loudest group ever that whine?
I'm
not expert, so I can speak that.
Yeah,
my goodness.
I mean, but it's like, hey, we're 150,000 strong in the Open, and we're the ones with the disposable income. Pay more attention to us. And so this is the year of like put up or shut up, right? We agree. But I don't want to hear the whining anymore.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go all in, all of us as a community. Let's full live stream. Let's go nuts with this, and let's prove to the sponsors and to the CrossFit HQ that this is a viable solution.
Yeah, and I really think that you're right. With the reshuffle of headquarters and even the first time they tried to make the switch on, okay, we'll have the sanctional events and we'll go to the semifinals, and now they're allowing almost like a partnership between these different groups and locations to do their competitions. That they're allowing the master side to do the same thing, which is good. And I it's not a you guys just do it, whatever. And it's not we're going to take it over, whatever. It seems to be, especially like with what you guys are doing, a much more of a hand in hand setup with that, which is huge. One, and then two, I think you are absolutely right. We have heard masters yelling and complaining and screaming and kicking and crying about, we need to do this, we need to have a regional, we need to have this. But something that I've seen is there's a lot of complaining, but there's not a lot of action. So even like when Chase did his qualifier in Texas, one of the things that we tried to do with him was like, hey, you guys all want this, so get in there and compete. Don't just say you want it and then don't show up. Like one of the things with masters, old people, myself, we get very rooted in our routines. Yeah. And if all of a sudden I have to break away for the weekend and that's not my normal routine because I'm whatever, I do whatever on that day in particular, then it's hard to break out of that routine. But we need masters to do that. If they want something like this, like your event, to thrive and to really get momentum behind it, then they have to act like the people that you guys are putting the competition for. If they want to be athletes, they got to be athletes, which is pick yourself up, pay the entry fee, and go compete, go qualify, go and do all that, and get as many of them out there as you can. Because you're right, Masters last year, had the largest number of any age group out there, and that's huge. But now we need them to perform, like to get out to these other things, not just pay for the Open and then sit there. It's like come and qualify, come and play, come and compete, come and have some fun. So you're right. I think you guys are put up or shut up, man, and you guys are doing it. That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and you bring up the regional that Chase ran out of Dallas this year, and we also did one in Vegas, one in Atlanta, one in Pennsylvania, and it was kind of like we just kind of threw it out there, right? And like Chase ran with it, and the group in Vegas ran with it, and we weren't really sure the results we were going to get. And I would say I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised, right? The numbers weren't staggering, but I don't know. I mean, Chase, how many people competed at your event? Like 80 or so?
Like 112 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so, for a first year event, right? That didn't give the athletes like a full year notice of like, hey, get prepared for this, right? I mean, we kind of threw it together in like 4 or 5 weeks, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty quick.
100 athletes there is pretty good, and we really want to keep pushing that live qualifying as much as possible. It's just more fun for the Masters community. We do too much stuff online, right? So
totally,
let's get out there and that's the way you build the community. You don't build it through doing online qualifiers, right? You do it through people forging actual relationships.
Well, there's that, and then as much as Waterproof app is one of our partners, and we know that element is out there, and and just as well as everybody, when you are stuck online at home, whatever, you can always magically count. Magically rep, magically squat, certain certain depths or certain whatevers or certain angles, and so
certain angles.
You have to get out there with someone seeing you live. You have to have competition is you have your referee, you have your judge right there, and it's okay. You can line up in 3, 2, 1, go. Everyone's on the same line. Not I'm going to make my line this way, and I'm going to make my line this way, and So I think I think there has always been a call for that. One of the hardest things with events is when you have so many different age groups, it's hard to make it enticing because you can't throw a whole lot of money out there for Masters and stuff, because it's like, okay, if we were just doing Open, I could make $1,000 prize. But if we do that for the Masters and we have 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, okay, everyone's going to get 50 cents because I just broke up $1,000 into 50-cent increments. But it is important to get out there and compete and have judges. And you're right, live competition is important. It's important. Otherwise, you're just in your room pretending.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the support that we get from all these regional events that we did last year, it's like people also need to realize that it's kind of like it's investing in the next year, because however many we get this year, we can, hopefully grow it, and we can count on that number again and then some. So it's kind of like, hey, we need you to tune into the live stream or show up to the event, buy the tickets, show up to the regional events, so that next year we can continue to show this data, these numbers to potential sponsors, and more people will be attracted to it, and it'll grow that way. So it's like not investing directly in this year. It's kind of like, hey, most of this is for next year, so we can continue to plan and build and grow.
Right.
I like it. I'm excited. For me, it's the phrase "put up or shut up." That's just show up.
Totally.
Show up or shut up.
Just come out.
Yeah. It's like you guys, in Masters, as the squeaky wheel group of the Masters. Not all Masters are that loud and obnoxious about what they want. It's like, listen, here's everything you've ever wanted. Here's 5 regional qualifiers. There's an online portion to this. We have this state of the art, like full blown competition for 4 days and a live stream. This is all the attention in the world that you've ever wanted. So show up or shut up.
Yeah.
Right? Because like if you are going to ask for this, you guys are doing that. You're giving them everything. Like you guys, like you said, you're investing in the future of this competition. This isn't just like, oh, we're doing everything we ever wanted. Like this weekend or it was the 8th, 9th?
Yeah, 9th,
10, 11, 12? Yeah.
Yeah.
So in San Diego, like if you can't show up there, then you better show up on the live stream, because if you want more attention on the live stream, especially say at the CrossFit Games, then the numbers need to represent that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
To that. And so here's every opportunity that you guys are putting yourselves out there to give them. So I commend you guys fully on this, and I'm very excited to see. And I'm just pumped. I'm pumped that this is something that the Masters crowd's going to get.
Yeah, same here. Every time we run into a little roadblock, like yesterday we had a supply chain issue with what was it, Joe? It was the judges.
Shirts and hats.
Oh yeah.
Had to figure it out, but it's all good now.
The joy of putting on a competition.
The new term, or the new term out there. The scapegoat is supply chain issue for everything. So that is used for everything. I show up late. Coming home late to hang out with the family and kids. Supply chain issues. Just couldn't get here. So it's my new go-to.
When I don't PR my back squat, I'm like, supply chain issues.
Supply chain. I just
not supply.
I was just, for the back squat stuff. I was just gonna say, I pulled my COVID. I pulled my COVID, because there's no such thing as any other kind of sickness either. You only can get COVID, and you can't get anything because of supply chain issues. So it really simplifies the world. It makes it nice and easy, so it's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. So listen, guys, let's get into the programming. So this episode is we peek with the programmers of the event and those running it, and that comes down to you two. And we're going to do a 4-day series with this podcast, because you guys are going old school and you're not releasing the events until, 24 hours or 12 hours prior to the day?
Yeah, give or take 18 hours. Yeah.
Not a lot of time to prepare, which is not a bad thing, because that's old school CrossFit, right? You should already be prepared for the unknown and unknowable. At least you're giving them, 12 to 18 hours heads up. Yeah. But I love it. It's real old school. Who made the decision on that one?
Probably Joe. It's Joe. So
probably me. I'm pretty harsh.
Joe's the more creative of the two of us, and he's also the more diabolical of the two of us.
Yeah. I got to get Bob pulls me back a few times. I'm like, all right, they're not all Rich Froning. Got it. Okay, cool, sweet. But,
you know what? That right there, that's the age thing right there. That's the age difference between you two guys. Where Bob's like, whoa. Let's remember what we're doing here. Come on.
It's like when we do the programming, I was kind of been thinking about this past couple of days, because Bob comes with, the Open and the Championship. He does most of the initial work, and it's kind of like he has all the ingredients and they're all laid out, and he has the workouts programmed. Then we go through tweaking them, even completely switching elements from workout to workout or event to event. And on this one, I think we're on the 9th or 10th revision.
Yeah,
at least. But it's fun. It's just seeing it develop and trying to make it more exciting to do. I think is most important. More exciting to do, but also to watch. And so it's a lot of fun to make the programming, and also we released movements to the athletes. Hey, these are the potential movements you could be doing. So, get brushed up on those. But as far as the combination, I think the combination should be kept secret for as long as possible.
When you guys started designing this, was there a, like, Dave Castro talks about when he designs the games and the regionals and all that, the semifinals and the open, that there's an anchor piece. We've all done competitions. In fact, Joe, you came up with Dana, my brother's girlfriend, and competed at a little competition up here at my place before, so that was pretty cool. Whenever we've designed programs or competitions, there's some ideas, some centerpieces. Did you guys have, what was the initial centerpiece that you guys had on this? Was it piece of equipment or styles of workouts or lengths or weights, or what was that kind of centerpiece, just kind of in general, that was your jump off spot?
I think it was the workout on the main floor on Saturday. Is kind of like the premier workout. And
day 3?
Yeah, that's day 3. Yeah. Really, the day 3 and then the day 4 are 2-parter workout too. But the day 3 one, which I can't go into because we're not going to release that. I'll tease it a little bit. There were some elements in it that we wanted to do last year and weren't able to. And I really liked that. And it was a workout that Joe had put together for me getting ready for the games. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of fun,
Yeah,
and
cool.
And I was like, this is going to be a cool workout. And then since then, we've tweaked it 25 times. But but that was kind of the we need to fit this in, and then we can kind of build around this workout.
Okay.
Was kind of the way it came together this year.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Have you guys announced how many total events are yet?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. How many total is it?
So it's 11 scores, 9 events.
11 scores, 9 events, 4 days. Okay. Well, hey, let's jump into it. So this will be a episode on day 1. We'll release 3 more after this for day 2, day 3, and day 4. And since we're doing that, we can go into a little detail of what's coming in. So athletes arriving on site in San Diego. It's Thursday morning, and they show up for event number 1, which is...
So all of the workouts are themed based off of Anchorman. So,
very cool. I love this
theme. So workout 1 is, I believe it's jogging or yogging. It might be a
Oh my gosh!
And we're smacking people with the monostructural on the assault runner on day 1, first thing, right?
Dang.
It's a nice little way to get you introduced and warmed up for the next 4 days. You're going to be doing. The distances vary by age group and gender, but in the 35 through 50 men, you're doing 4,000 meters. Women in those same age groups are doing 3,500. And then in the 55 plus, men are doing 3,500 meters and women are doing 3,000.
Oh, wow.
So, 20-minute cap. And basically, the thought on this one was, we also have a minimum work requirement on this one too.
Okay.
The 60 to 64 women, was it last year, Joe?
That was 65 plus. Last year's workout was a 2-parter. I think you had to run 8 minutes, an 8-minute AMRAP. Then we took a short break into something else. And so when I announced the 65 plus women, they all came walking out pretty slow, just kind of taking their time. And I'm trying to keep things slow. I'm like, all right, cool, let's get over by the rudder. And they're saying hi to their friends and family. I'm like, all right, they're kind of in control right now. I'm like, okay. And so we get it going, and 3, 2, 1, go, and they all start walking.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, they're just getting the tread moving. They're gonna, pick up that pace. And about 10 more seconds, I'm like, oh, they're just gonna walk the whole time. And I was like, okay, yeah. we have the masters are taking over. They've decided to all team up and just see who can walk in 8 minutes.
Was that a warm up coup that just happened?
Yeah. I was like,
screw these guys.
Coup.
I see where the power is. Okay, sounds good. But I appreciate it. I was like, you know what? You guys aren't breaking any rules, and that's pretty funny. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, but because of that, we put a rule in this year. So there's minimum work requirement. You got to get through 50%, or you flew down to San Diego to, walk on a treadmill for 20 minutes.
Now, with that minimum work requirement, is that just it bumps them down the leaderboard, or if they don't finish that, they're done for the weekend?
They're done for the weekend. So
take some of that.
Yeah.
Face.
So, just when putting this together, my original thought on this was the venue sits out on I don't know if it's an isthmus or a peninsula. I can't remember the correct geography term for it, but like it juts out into the bay a little bit, and it's on a long strip. And I was thinking, it'd be really cool to do an outdoor like 5K to kick things off, but then we realized getting zoning and permits for that, and like you would have to shut down the road, and there's another hotel down at the end of it, which people wouldn't be able to get in and out of. I was like, all right, this is going to be a disaster. There's no way that we're going to be able to pull that off. But how do I mimic a 5K using an assault runner? And assault runners are generally about 20 to 25% more difficult than the street, right? Okay. So that's how I came up with the 4,000 meter number. And
you being all nice.
Yeah, well, but look at it. It's a dirty cap though, too, right? I mean, it's 20 laps. So I don't actually see a lot of people finishing, right? Like I see Jason Grubb and guys like that, that are just animals, right? Mike Kern, right? In the 45 to 49, I see those guys finishing, but a lot of it's going to come down to just how many meters can you get in the 20, because it's actually a tough distance for that time frame.
Yeah. I really think that we always see a hefty monostructural element in like the more elite type competition, whether it's the games or even for the masters level. But I think what a lot of people don't really realize is, especially for masters, before a lot of masters got into CrossFit, this is the stuff that they did. Yeah. They're the ones that are on the cycling clubs. They're the ones that do the masters. Yeah. I mean, they're the ones that do the running. So, like, I look at this because that was never my gig. I didn't do any of that stuff. Like, it's like keep me under, just keep me on the shorter stuff. But I look at this and I'm like, ooh. But a lot of them would be like, okay, no worries. Yeah. Like, I'll go. Yeah. And I think it's good, especially to start it. Get that long. I mean, I don't want to say boring, but get that out of the way, because that's definitely an element that if you're trying to, and one thing that we didn't even ask, like, when you guys, me and Chase talk about this, what are you trying to achieve by your champion here? What do you want out of your champion? Are you trying to crown a fittest, or are you trying to, like, what are you guys trying to hit? Because you definitely this is your long one for sure.
Yeah. So, we're not allowed to crown the fittest, right? Contractually. But
the most fit.
Most
legendary. Crown the most fit.
We're trying to replicate the games as much as possible, Bill. Okay, there are challenges to that when you have a much bigger field, in that, especially in the older age groups, where the athletic disparity between the top 5 and the bottom 5 is pretty significant. Right. And so you don't ever want to program so people are embarrassed out there, or even worse, could get hurt. Yeah. So I wouldn't say that the programming overall is like the games, but we're trying to replicate that type of field.
Yeah.
And everybody that experience.
And I think that's smart, because the games honestly shouldn't care. The games shouldn't care about, like, are you going to get embarrassed because you can't do that? That's the games. It's like this is supposed to be the best of the best in the world. You guys are trying to put on a very solid competition in which a lot of people can go, and you have to be a good athlete to get there. One, I mean, you have to qualify, or you're a games level athlete anyway. And then you want to be able to have some good competition. And good competition isn't where you have people sitting there staring. I mean, we've seen that at the games with pegboards and stuff like that, where people can't do whatever. But at the game, that doesn't mean that that's not an appropriate thing. Here, you're right. You want it to be an awesome race for everyone, not a throwaway. And so, okay, good call.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Jogging. Ew,
Yeah, jogging.
I'm just here for the event titles now. I don't even give a shit.
They get so good.
They're so
I
good.
tell you what, if the final isn't called Whale's Vagina, I'm out. Like,
I so badly wanted to put it in as Whale's Vagina, but at the last second, I kind of pulled it back just because we offend enough people. And, so it's great though. It's like, wait until we get it. I'll save it. You'll love it.
I'm going through, like, this is one of the most quotable movies I can honestly think of. That and Tombstone. But
my God, totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, all right. So event 1, we'll say baseline 4,000 meter run on the assault runner, and then we trickle the distances down as the age groups increase.
Yeah.
Jogging. The J is silent. I love it. All right. Event 2.
All right. So event 2 is well, guess what? Now this is happening. So, it's Jack Black's great line from the movie when he punts Baxter off the Rainbow Bridge, right? So,
Yes.
So
throw a burrito.
Yeah. This burrito is so filling.
That's so good. Oh my gosh, I love that part.
So this one we're actually not having the older age groups do, but let me go through the workout first. So 8-minute cap for men. It's 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 overhead squat, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 ring muscle up. So couple.
Oh, love this one.
Wow! Yeah.
We did reduce the women's. So the women have the same number of overhead squats, but it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're doing 20 muscle ups in that time frame, and the men are doing 30.
So the overhead squats are going down as the muscle ups go up.
Yeah.
So 10, 2, 8, 4, 6, 6. So 12 reps per round.
Okay. Yeah.
So for the men, 35 through 44, it's 155. And women, it's 115. And then the 45 through 54, it's 135.95.
Yeah.
So medium to lightish weight, I would say, on the overhead squat. Something that people should be able to go unbroken on, right? Mm-hmm. And but I would also say, overhead squat is a higher skill Olympic lifting movement, right? Combined with one of the highest skill gymnastics movements. So that was the thought of pulling these two together.
I think the overhead squat is the precipice, the point of contention for all masters athletes. I've seen guys. I love, man. Anytime there's overhead squats on a masters event, I'm like, hell, mother effing yes. Yeah. Because when you have athletes that can snatch 225 but can't overhead squat 135, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I think
snatch 225.
Right. Yeah, totally.
It's like, how wide can you go and how low can that get you?
How many times did you guys test this? And 2, how come you didn't pick the flip of the numbers? So ring muscle ups going 10 to 2, overhead squat going 2 to 10.
So I haven't personally tested it at all. Joe, have you tested this one?
No.
I've
done workouts. I've done workouts very similar. And
tomorrow.
One thing, so the ring muscle up going 2 to 10. I think this workout's going to show, who can run their game plan in the early rounds and not get sucked into rushing back and forth, because those ring muscle ups obviously escalate quickly. Yeah. And so getting into the last 2 rounds after you've already done, the 10, the 8, and the 6 overhead squats and the 2, 4, 6 ring muscle ups, you still have 18 ring muscle ups to go. And so I think we're going to see a pretty good division of, obviously skill and fitness, but also who came out too hot, and all of a sudden that 8 is getting broken up into 3 to 4 sets possibly, rather than I think the smarter people will be able to continue to, break them up into 2 sets or kind of still keep consistent times back and forth. But that's why I like the ring muscle up going from 2 to 10 rather than kind of giving them the opportunity to get most of them out of the way early. It's kind of like, all right, who can be a little bit smarter and also who has the higher skill level in the ring muscle up. I think that's going to pop up here going 2 to 10.
I love this.
Yeah.
If I were competing and this is like the first day, I'm like, this is chase day. I got all my best things out of the way in the first 2 events. I'm screwed the rest of the weekend.
Chase is in first after 2 events.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time I've done that, and then it didn't.
Yeah, I did. I had a buddy of mine, Justin LaSalle, test this one out because he's not competing this year because he's decided he wants to eat ice cream after the games. So, but he really enjoyed this one when he did it. I have a little bit of a back issue that I've been dealing with, and so I have only tested a couple of these workouts, but this one would be my jam. Like,
yeah,
I would come into this one looking at this saying, all right, I'm going to win this one. Right? and I don't care what happens the rest of the weekend.
That's
right?
Yeah. This is one of my. I mean, I'm lucky enough. I've got to see what the events are, Chase. So, haha.
I'm coming in fresh. I want a fresh set of eyes.
I really like this event. I will say this. I think the way it's set up, especially with the weights, because you either have overhead squats or you don't in the Masters division. If you have them, then this entire thing comes down to muscle ups, I think.
Yep.
I myself, like, I know if I was playing with this one and programming this one, I think I would have made the overhead squat at 185 for the guys to start.
Whoa.
And the reason I say that, I mean, well, it sounds heavy. Like, I would have probably gone like 185, 155 to bring it down, I guess. I would have liked myself in the 50 division to do the 185. But that's because I like overhead squats. But the thing is that because there's going to be the break in the muscle ups, I think you'll have time to deal with those overhead squats. So now that, like, I mean, you're right. Everyone's going to be doing the overhead squats unbroken fast. So they're going to be like flying through and then getting to the rings and being like, okay, here we go. And the set at 8 and 10, oh man, like that's going to be the amount of people that push to fail because they go just too soon.
Yeah,
is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the guy in the round of 8 and 10 on the guys in the round of 5 and 6, like
totally
who's on rep 6.
Yep.
And you're like, oh man, they should drop. They should drop, and they go to step 7, and you're like, oh yeah, they're buffed. And they're gonna go. Am I allowed to curse?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Show, bro.
Yeah.
We had Dave Castro on the podcast, and it's constant. Like,
Sailor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Just want to make sure. Just watching that unfold is going to be a lot of fun. As someone who, despite my coach's advice in the past, has decided to go, too far on a muscle up and workout, and had disastrous results after that. I'll be, as a spectator, I'm going to enjoy watching it. So.
Totally.
Yeah, this will definitely be a fun one to watch. I'm with Bill. Like, I don't think any Masters event should be programmed without an overhead squat in it.
Nope.
Like, it just totally exposes everyone that really isn't doing all the things they should be doing.
Yeah, and I would say, like, if you're listening to this and you want to compete at Legends, I guarantee you that there's going to be overhead squats every single year.
Yeah, like we had overhead squats in our event, our regional event.
Yeah, Masters Fear, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you guys call it? Yeah, I remember that. I was like, all right, cool, good.
Roger.
So definitely overhead squats next year. It sounds like we can go to 185 now. So
go to 185.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna do this with 185. I'm gonna go down to do this in the next couple of days. I'm gonna do it with 185.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you guys, you could. I like the lighter weight to screw up people's muscle ups, but for like an equivalency balance, a heavier weight, I think they're totally okay with that. I would do it at 185 as well. They had 165 in the age group online qualifier, I think, with those burpee box jump overs, but that's just nitpicky stuff. I think this is a great event. I love that the muscle ups are ascending more than the overhead squats, because I think what these overhead squats are doing is exactly what you guys say you want to happen. Is just, can you set yourself up for 8 and 10, and do you have the gymnastics endurance and capacity for 8 and 10? So I love this event.
And then real fast, this as far as all the events you guys did, why not do for the older division like a front squat and a chest to bar pull up or something like that? Or is it just you just didn't want to give them the same number of events for the weekend?
It's like a volume thing.
Yeah. Joe, you want to take that?
It's like it's a combination of a volume, also just time and space, and volunteers. You know, we have this is day 1, Thursday, most difficult day to get volunteers. It's during the middle of the week, so a lot of factors play into it, and most of it's athlete safety and total volume. Like when we program, we don't think everyone should be limping out of the stadium and broken. You know, like I feel like you can take a couple extra steps. You can still get your goal of how you want to program and how much you want to tax and test these people without finding a breaking point. Like this workout, I like the setup also with the overhead squat descending, because I feel like with people trying to, do these workouts as fast as possible, I think the overhead squat here descending is a little bit safer rather than building to 10. It's like, hey, let's see if you can do overhead squats. Okay, cool, you can do them, and here's your sets, and it's going to go down and down. Where if they miss a muscle up, most likely they're just not going to be able to turn over. Safe and easy. I think it's a little bit safer this way, but with the limited events, it's athlete safety.
Yeah. I think I want to say that the original way I programmed this, going back to your 185 comment, Bill, I think I had like 205 in there.
Cool.
Take that too. Put it on there, man. I like it.
Well, but that's where the play between Joe and I come in a lot. Basically when I program something, it's like the barbell has to be as heavy as possible. Your fitness is not being tested unless it's like, near one max. And Joe, correctly points out, like, hey man, there's a lot of other ways to do this. And,
I'm like, hey Bob, you can't make every workout have a 300-pound power clean. It's switched up a little bit.
I think all the reasons of which you guys are doing it, the format, the way things flow, 10 to 2, 2 to 10, for all those reasons, I think that's really cool. And I think it's good for people to hear is like why you do certain things the way you do. And the other thing is, I think people don't understand is how much logistics has an influence on programming.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're still going to get your point across. And there's a lot of, like, if you had the perfect world, you could probably have a completely different set of events than you do this weekend. But logistics, people, like you said, doing an assault runner versus closing a road, like all these things come into play. Safety, timing, volunteer availability, like this all has an influence on programming. And I think some people just look at it from their computer screen and like, well, why aren't we doing this? It's like, well, here's all the reasons why we wanted to do it. And here's all the reasons why we couldn't do it. It's just because that's the way life works and we don't get what we want all the time.
Right.
All right, so that's 2 events. So that's for the up until 55. Is that correct?
Up until 54. Yeah.
54. Yeah, 54. And then do we have a third event for day 1?
We do have a third event on day 1.
Okay.
Third event. And it is workout 3. Sorry, I think I cut out there. It's workout 3 and it's pants party.
There's a pants party.
There's a party in my pants. This one's a sprint. It's a 4-minute cap, 3 rounds, 15 handstand push-ups, and we're bringing the torque tanks. So we got you're doing 15 handstand push-ups, 25-foot tank tow. So we're using the towing capability of the tank, and then 25-foot tank push.
Ooh. Okay.
And
what setting is the tank going to be on?
It'll be on 3 for men, 2 for women.
And it's 1 to 3, is that right? Or is there?
Yes.
Okay. Woo.
Yeah. So there's some nuances once we get into older age groups, like the reps on the handstand push-ups come down.
Okay.
We introduce risers, right, for to kind of keep them moving, right?
Yeah.
And the thought process on that and the tank settings will come down in the 60 to
60s.
64 and 65 plus. But you know, we wanted, the idea there was to kind of have the same stimulus, right? Like we want this to be quick. And with the older age groups, handstand push-ups is one of those movements that you know can get ugly quickly, right? Like the endurance isn't really there, and it falls off. And so we wanted to. That's why we introduced the risers, because this is a sprint, and this should be really, really fast.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the gist of it.
You guys agree for making them push on the way back.
Yeah. Well, some of that's also the visual too, right? So
Yeah.
We want
it creates that like Castro does a really great job of creating workouts that end with like a lunge or you know something. So there's this race that's going on the floor, but it's slow, but it's a race, right? Like and so that's really what's kind of going on with this as well. Like the visual of that is cool, you know.
Oh, I think it's gonna be cool to do. Like this is another event. I'm like, damn it, this is really cool. It's something I wouldn't totally suck at,
dude. Round 3. Round 3. Oh, those handstand push-ups in round 3.
Yeah.
they're
gonna be unbroken handstand push-ups, and then that last round, it's gonna be go, fail off the wall.
Yeah.
Damn, went from like 3rd place to 8th right there.
Yeah. The other thing I like about this workout is like it's you know, it's not necessarily a big guy workout and it's not necessarily a small guy workout, right? Like you know, you can manage, if you're a big guy, you can manage the handstand push-ups and make up time on the tank. Right? And you know, I like trying to create workouts like that where you look at it and you're not sure who's gonna necessarily win. Like if Joe and I were to do this workout, you know, Joe is amazing at handstand push-ups and I'm more of a power athlete. I think we would come within a second or two of each other if we went head to head on this. I would win, but I think it would be within a second or two.
And I think you're right.
I think 45 seconds I'd win by least way.
I think that the number and the way you guys have it split up, I think that you're right. It lends itself to that for sure. The part that I think is going to be interesting, at least from my perspective, is what is the standard that you guys are going to be using for the handstand push-up, and then what are your? I mean, because the standard isn't necessarily always for the competition; it's also for the judges that you guys have, which are volunteers. So what are you going to put them to have to regulate as they're doing these handstand push-ups? What's that standard going to look like?
So it's going to be we're using the Yearlin mat competition, handstand push-up mats. So those are pre-cut to 36 inches wide by 24, which is kind of the old school format that the games use now. That's, I mean, the handstand push-up points of performance or parameters have changed 4 or 5 times. So we're sticking to the 36 by 24, and your palm has to stay on the mat. So the fingers, right? The fingers can come off. They can like kind of go off to the side, but the palm has to stay on the mat. And then just your standard, lockout top, full elbow extension, only your heels touching at the top each rep. And we feel that that's the visually, when you're watching as a spectator and online, that's the easiest way to kind of see, all the competitors go through the reps, but also judging. It's a lot easier on the judges rather than having to worry about hitting a certain line. Even if we had different lines, have to set those up for every person, every heat. Logistically wise, and for the judges, we feel like that's the easiest way.
So just arms locked out, palms on the mat.
Yep, and then only your heels touching the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. And you said they're pre-cut to that size.
Yeah, so you just grab the mat, toss it out against the wall, and it's good to go. So the top
has those for sale. And I was like, damn, I need to get some of these damn things.
I got issues.
I got a loophole on this one. The mat, is there a wall that they're gonna kick up onto, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Does that wall go all the way to the ground?
Not all the way to the ground. It's gonna start, I think, like 6 inches off the ground. The company that made True Grit they custom made our rig and also
Cool.
custom ordered really nice plexiglass for the handstand push-ups to install, and it's going to look really cool. So I believe it's about 6 inches off the ground that it starts.
Don't. One of the loopholes, unless you guys say it, just to make sure, is you could take that mat and you can turn it diagonal, so you have your hands at top corner, another corner, and spread it so you can go a little wider. So make sure. I was going to say, if that mat doesn't go all the way to the wall, make sure it stays on that line so that thing doesn't get crooked.
Where do you find shit like this?
Yeah, that's.
Hey man, it's geometry from here to here.
We all learned the Pythagorean theorem in like 5th grade. I get it. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm impressed. I'm
just saying. I mean, there's we talked about the online qualifier. There's a lot of things that people can do.
Okay,
so
you're right. Someone did that. What was that thing we did for Loud and Live? Someone.
Yeah,
diagonally in the box and had both feet still on the wall and did this. I was like, okay, if like they didn't actually do any better, but if you're gonna do that,
I'm just saying.
All right.
I mean, you get any people with long arms, you could totally do that. Short arms, they don't care. They're not gonna.
Joe's writing right now. Don't let them.
Handstand push-up must be square to a wall. I mean, that's a good point. We're gonna see it. Like someone would do it. I think. Yeah.
You have to plan for something. Not if. I mean, it's better have it planned up than have to figure it out.
If you want all the loopholes closed in your programming, you've got the right guy on the show.
Also, if Bill signs up, there's going to be highlight his name, and we're going to have a team.
We need to have 9 judges.
9 judges for Bill.
Like, if he wasn't Grun the Reen, he would be Bill Loophole Grundler. Like,
it's not cheating. I'm just trying to figure out, where I can go within the rules. That's all.
I like it.
It's math, man.
Oh, I love it. All right, so is that the closeout day number 1? All right. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That is day 1 of the Legends Masters Championship. The next episode coming up, which will be 24 hours from the release of this one, will be the events coming up for day number 2. Stay tuned.